Welcome back. Well, as you've seen there, the Senate has approved the electronic transmission of election results to the Independent National Electoral Commission's viewing portal, IREV, while retaining manual collation as a fallback where technology fails. Well, the decision follows a reconsideration of a previously controversial provision in the Electoral Act Amendment Bill taken during Tuesday's plenary after days of public debate and pressure from civil society groups. Now, supporters say the move balances transparency with Nigeria's infrastructure realities, but critics argue that the fallback clause could still open room for abuse. In fact, they say it doesn't necessarily cure the ills. Well, joining us now to discuss this matter and what it means for future elections and public confidence in the process is Senator Peter Nwebonyi, who is the Deputy Chief Whip of the Senate. He also represents Ebonyi North Senatorial District. He's also Vice Chairman, Senate Committee on Public Accounts. Good morning, Senator. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you, my dear brother. And also a member of the Senior Committee of the Conference Committee.
Only you? All about the place these days.
Thank you.
Well, that Conference Committee is the one that's supposed to now meet with their colleagues in the House of Reps and see how they sort some of these things out. But the narrative, as you may have heard previously from our previous guest, is that that amendment, notwithstanding, doesn't address the ills that the Coalition Center is laden with, which many think is the bane of Nigeria's election process.
Well, first and foremost, let me thank you for this opportunity to clear the coast on this very important national issue, which is particularly Section 60 sub 3 of the Electoral Act, which we are trying to amend, all geared towards giving Nigerians free, fair, and most credible election. I will start by saying that this matter is very simple and straightforward when you look at it objectively. But what is happening now is that people are trying to play politics, and we understand that very well. That is the normal politics of the opposition.
What kind of politics are you talking about?
I'm coming to that. Now, before now, Section 60 sub 3, which deals mainly on transfer or transmission of results from the polling units. Going by the 2022 Electoral Act, which is currently in operation, pending amendment, there was no mention of IREF. There was no electronic transmission of results as a matter of law. But now the 10th Senate, being a corrective Senate, have taken decision yesterday to expressly introduce electronic transmission of results from the polling unit to IREF, which my friend I just left here has defined that IREF is not a collection center. It is mainly a portal where people can view the result before now. But by what we did yesterday, IREF has been statutorily authenticated as reference point. For example, now, if after voting, the election result is entered into the INEC form EC8A, signed by the presiding officer, countersigned by the agents, thereafter, the presiding officer is expected to transmit that same result unaltered, the same way it is, in the presence of the party agents, in the presence of the security agents, to INEC portal, which is IREF. And we went further to put a proviso, considering our level of development, considering the fact that not in every polling unit in Nigeria you can get network to transfer within record time. And what is within record time? Within record time means within the time allowed for the election. You will agree with me that in the last election, for example, in my own village, we don't have network. You cannot transmit within record time. Now, Senate, being elders, who looked into it and said, what happens to those results that didn't report at the INEC portal within record time? Does it mean that you jettison those results?
Okay.
Does it mean that they're going to disenfranchise those people that gave their vote?
So
that is, let me finish. That is why we put that proviso where the transmission, the electronic transmission fails by virtue of unavailability of network or other problems,
okay,
the result entered in Form EC.
they shall resort to that, yeah.
Shall be resorted to.
Okay, so you raised a number of issues here. Let's see if we can piece them one after the other. You say the Senate, with this amendment, has made IREV a reference point.
Yes.
What does that mean? Because is there a reference point? Do you mean collation? Because the main challenge the country has is ensuring that collation is not manipulated. So what do you mean by reference points?
What it means is that if what is in the IREV is different from what is in the election results, it becomes questionable. Because we expect what is in Form EC8A to be the same thing in INEC portal. You cannot say because the election was not transmitted within record time, then you should jettison the primary document, the primary evidence, which is the Form EC8A. That is the primary result sheet. The transmission becomes secondary evidence. But by the law we have done now, both the EC from EC8A and what is in the IREV becomes authenticated.
Okay, so
and you can make reference to it. If the law was this way, the decision of the Supreme Court in Article and INEC would have been different. So I believe that my opinion, let me just land. My opinion is that I expect Nigerians. Of course, Nigerians are happy with what we did. It is very few oppositions who feel that politics is all about protesting at the National Assembly. Maybe because maybe the presiding officer is not your friend. Every time you'll be calling his name, coming to the National Assembly. Politics is not played in the National Assembly. I believe and I think and I want to advise the opposition, stop playing politics through social media. Stop playing politics in Abuja. Go home. Go to your polling units and build strong base to make sure that what is in the Form EC8A is what is transmitted. Well, as a matter of fact, the Senate has made a name in the history of this country. Well, the 10th Senate has made a name.
That's
this is the first time.
Well, Senator, that's your perspective.
We are trying to recognize electronic transmission of results. It never happened.
Well, that's your perspective that you made a name, but
yes.
the jury is out there on that particular matter. But it's also interesting to see that this narrative about whether there's network in my area or no network in my area appears to have fallen flat on its face to some extent, because if you check, remember NCC did release, they launched a certain portal some time ago, I think with Okla, so to speak. And then in Igbere, Senator Ojikalu's village, where he had said there was no network, we checked it out. There's network coverage in his area.
Well, in my village, we don't have.
No, you represent Nwebonyi North.
My village is in Beke Isheke.
Well, in Afikpo, we'll check that village, please.
Please check.
I hope you're listening.
Check in Beke Isheke. You can't get anybody on phone there.
No, but in this is Igbere, Abia State, Senator Ojikalu's place. There's network. If you look at that now, you see, if you can show me the next one, this is 4G technology. So there's network coverage in his village.
It's possible.
So,
in some areas you
and as a matter of
coverage.
fact, it's not just poor. It's I mean, it's not poor. It's really good network.
Yes.
In Nwebonyi North, let's see Nwebonyi North Senatorial District. In Afikpo, for instance, strong network. So let them check out the. I hope they can get the spelling right.
Mbeke Isheke, M-B-E-K-E, Mbeke.
So if they can check that out, let's see if we can check that out before this time.
However,
that there is network coverage in those areas. Yes. But what you speak about in terms of the proviso that the Senate added to that, where network fails.
Not only network failure.
Yeah,
the portal can be hacked.
No, but hold on a minute. Maybe you made some points previously. Yeah. So part of what you said that proviso is what many were not happy with, saying why do we have to have that proviso in the first instance? Because we know with the accreditation, as also highlighted in Section 47 of the Electoral Act, where it clearly says where that where the smart card fails, of course you know what happens.
Manual accreditation should go.
So and then there's a place where it says no, you cannot proceed because no manual voter register. Section 47.3, where a smart card reader or any other technological device deployed for the voter fails to function in any unit and a fresh card reader or device is not deployed, the election shall be cancelled. This same principle should have been applied to this much talked about section that 65, where this process is not possible, you have to make sure you provide network.
You are missing it.
No, I'm not missing it. What I'm saying is that...
Let me tell you why you're missing it.
No, hold on. You speak. What they're saying is that if you say there isn't any network in that place at that time, it doesn't mean that there will perpetually not be any network in those areas. There was no conversation...
That's the point I want to clear.
No, because...
we're saying the same thing.
Before you clear that point, remember, INEC themselves did have that meeting with CSOs, several people saying, we can conduct elections in all this where we have polling units. Go ahead.
Thank you so very much. I want you to understand it very well, and that's why I said you are missing it. What we did, we are not trying to lay much emphasis on manual system of our election. What the proviso is trying to save is a situation where the portal is hacked temporarily for the moment.
Where did you put in your that amendment that the portal is hacked?
Allow me, let me flow. Allow me flow. The professor is saying where there is network failure or any other problem, which include hacking of the portal, which happened 17 times. INEC reported it in the last election. Now let me tell you, the election must be transmitted electronically. But whereby it didn't report at that moment, it will report as a matter of minutes as you move to where there is network coverage. We're not saying that because it didn't go, don't forget it. No, post it. Maybe before you go to the local government, you must have reported. That is the point.
That is not expressly stated in that amendment.
It is expressly stated.
Because, for instance, when you say INEC said they were hacking, INEC was on this program at that time for the elections. Before the elections, their ICT director, their spokesman, all told us, yes, there were attempts to hack, but they did not succeed. And so we were able to handle it. When you now say hacking, you're making excuses where there are none.
No, let me tell you something.
And they didn't say that they successfully hacked us. They, in fact, told us we could conduct electronic transmission of results. That was why it's in their provisions.
Yes.
But not in the Electoral Act.
Yes. We are saying supposing it happens. We are not saying it's going to happen. And moreover, what are you complaining about? We have made electronic transmission mandatory. By the first paragraph of Section 60 sub 3. I want to get it from you, the way we did it yesterday. Now, we didn't supposed to complain. We have given Nigerians what they want. If you read what we did yesterday, we said the presiding officer, I'm trying to get it here, will electronically transmit the result to IRF. What is your problem again? The matter is solved. But we are saying, should there be a situation whereby it didn't go immediately, you cannot cancel that election. Announce the result the way it is, inform EC8A, and proceed to submit.
So the point...
before you get to the next collection center, that thing you posted may have entered. Why getting there? If what entered is different from what is in the result sheet, which you, as an agent of the party, you have a copy. Which you, as a policeman, posted to that polling unit, you have a copy. Which you, a civil defense, you have a copy. What is the problem again?
Well, what was the point that
I'm asking the opposition. What then is the problem?
No, it's not about opposition. Nigerians are not opposition.
Nigerians
are the ones who...
Not all Nigerians who are asking. It's the opposite are asking.
Of course, every Nigerian cannot...
You saw what transpired yesterday.
Every Nigerian cannot be on the same page. Are all senators on the same page? Of course not. So you
but majority are in the same place with us.
Majority of Nigerians so are the same place.
Can you see what happened in the chamber yesterday? Abaribe moved the motion. Let me come.
No, before you do that, we have to go to a short break. And then Ayo is going to ask you questions. Then you can also add that part to it. We'll be back in a moment. So don't go away.
Thank you for staying with us. Well, Senator, the one first question that I'd like to ask you is, this whole transmission of results thing, One of the challenges that I think was raised, which will probably inform the position of the Supreme Court, that the results uploaded on the IRF wasn't really so important because it wasn't in the law, was the quantum of alterations on the paper on the form EC8A. And what I'm getting is that that system is the same thing that is going to persist, where we just take a snapshot of that result and upload it on IREV. Please confirm if that is the case, and how do we eliminate those likely errors and consequent misreadings that could occur as a result of that?
Earlier, the politics is not played in Abuja on the platform of television. Every political party that wants to win election should also make a provision to protect their votes by making sure that their presence is felt in all the polling units. Yes, it is the duty of the law enforcement agency to protect the votes, but it is their duty as agent of the party, to be up and doing and see what is happening in your polling units. So the opposition should, instead of playing this baseless politics, should go and mobilize in all the polling units to make sure that what they got in their polling unit is transmitted. As a Senate, as the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we've given Nigerians what will guarantee free, fair, and most transparent election, which never happened. I said it here, that is on record. The 10th Senate deserves an applause from Nigerians, because this is the first time, just like you said, in the case of Atiku against INEC, IRF, or electronic transmission of result, was never a matter of law. It was a matter of choice. But now, the 10th Senate, in line with the quest of Nigerians to improve in our electronic processes and electoral processes to guarantee free and fair election, boldly inserted in Section 60 sub 3 that election results collected after being filled in INEC form EC8A should be immediately, there and then, transmitted to IRF. That never happened. And I think that those who are still attacking the Senate should see that the Senate has done the needful.
Our objective is the same. My apologies. Our objectives, our objectives are aligned. I'm just looking for clarity, because what you want is public trust to increase, public trust in the electoral process to increase. And there are many people, politicians and all, who believe that the point of collation of results, even from the polling unit, is where the mix-up usually begins. So I'm just asking, because we saw pictures on IREV of mutilated results right there on IREV, and these are the results that were still also taken to court. So I'm asking, in the event of such mutilations, is it possible to say, okay, rather than transmit just a paper, a mutilated paper in whichever case it may, what if we enter the digits, the results, and they are validated by the polling agents, just as you have suggested? That way, the numbers are clean, they are pure, and all of that. What's your take on that? Is that in consideration at all?
Thank you so very much. By the way, we've followed the law, and by looking at the INEC guideline, you will see that there will be no room for mutilation or tampering with the result sheet in any form not allowed by law. For example, upon arriving at the polling unit, you will first do accreditation with Beavers machine. They will accredit you, and at the end of the day, the Beavers machine will tell us that 500 voters were accredited. Then you now move to vote. After you are voting, the results, like we said here, by the new law the 10th Senate have made, Section 60 sub 3, the presiding officer will transmit the result the way it is to INEC RF. If at the end of the day, the result was mutilated or whatever happens, reference will be made to the accreditation we did. Because if the number of votes cast is more than the number of voters accredited, you know it goes without saying that that election will be cancelled because there is a foul play there. So I believe that with the way the law is now, the parliament have done their part. What is required to make sure there is no foul play is what I said earlier. Every political party should go and build up a very strong structure at the polling unit. Because if your agent is at the polling unit, nobody will mutilate the result. Nobody will tamper with the result. Everything will be seamless. That is it.
No.
Because I'm telling you the truth.
That is not what we have seen. We cover elections.
Okay. If you have seen the opposite, it means that the agents have compromised. Because if I'm an agent of my party, in my polling unit, Mbeki Primary School, 001, in Mbeki Ward, and I'm there, after voting, I will wait for the result to be counted. After counting, I will wait for the result to be announced. And by now, as you're announcing the result, with the use of phone, people have already snapped the result sheet.
Okay, Senator,
before transmitting to the IRF. So I believe that all the fears have been cleared.
You were winding down now. You were going to read to us the parts that you said the Senate also tried to take care of hacking and things like that.
If you permit me, I can read it.
Please go ahead.
Now, look at what we have done. Section 60 sub 3 said the presiding official shall electronically transmit the result from each polling unit to IRF portal. And such transmission shall be done after the prescribed form EC8A has been signed and stamped by the presiding officer. Now, the proviso, provided that if the electronic transmission of result fails as a result of network or hacking of the server, and it becomes impossible to transmit the result contained in form EC8A as prescribed, the presiding officer shall rely on form EC8A as the primary source of the result for the time.
So the principle that many are talking about here, why they think that Senate should have followed that route, is because, number one, they think that this does not address the coalition quagmire that the country has. Two,
then let me clear that. Let me clear that.
You will clear.
No, let me do it so that I won't forget.
Let me add
so
this.
That it's very important. So
I'll remind you.
No. Just a sentence.
Okay.
Now, when we transmit the result, even if it didn't go within record time, it will still report at IRF.
So what
is the fear?
This second part, where section 47.3 clearly tells you, because what we see here is that the law trusts electronic accreditation, but it comes across as though Senate does not trust electronic transmission, because that proviso, they think, in the same provision 47.3, it clearly says if that accreditation does not go through at that time, you have to cancel that result. No proviso whatsoever. They don't want any manual added to this. So they think the same thing could have applied. Just a minute. The same thing could have applied to section 65, where you tell them, because it's the same device, by the way.
It's not the same.
It's the same that INEC is using.
I will tell you, the facts are not the same.
No,
they are talking of accreditation of a voter. They are talking of transmission of. There are two different things.
They're electronic processes.
No, but there are two different facts.
What's the difference of electronic?
Let me tell you now. Give me a chance to tell you and tell Nigerians.
Okay, quickly, because we need to go.
Now, during accreditation, if your voter card is not recognized, you cannot vote. That is what section 47 you quoted is saying. He said, if I bring my voter's card to this place and my name is not found there and they didn't recognize it, the law is saying that that person shouldn't vote. It's a different thing. And we're coming to a transmission of the result. The 10 senators have made it mandatory that you must transmit the result electronically. No, and Senator, whereby, let me come.
No, you're missing the point.
Yes.
Section 47.3 says, yes, where a smart card reader or any other technological device deployed for accreditation of voters fails to function.
For accreditation.
Yeah, it's different
for
from
accreditation.
It didn't tell you that if...
Because for accreditation.
Yes.
That's why I tell you, accreditation is different from transmission of results.
At the time, but they are both electronic processes.
Yeah, but there are two different things.
That what is
two different things. The other one is at the beginning. The other one is at the end. No. And the other one, let me tell you, the other one that if you didn't report immediately, it doesn't vitiate the transmission. When you get to where that is network, you will still see it in IRF. Well, so what is the fear again?
Okay. All right, we're out of time. But
may you answer that question? What is the fear? of the opposition.
We will revisit
the opposition is just afraid of our looming victory.
Thank you for your time this morning.
That does it.
That wraps it up on the program. We thank you all for watching. I'm Chamberlain, so goodbye.
Business Morning is up next.